Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff, the podcast where we dive deeper in the world of real estate investing and the random stuff that makes life interesting. I'm John Whitfield, joined by my co-hosts Carlos Zamora from Investor Fusion, Carrot, and BP from Mobile Home Park Operator and Ted Sysops. Hello, gents. How's it going?
Happy Friday. Is it officially summer in Florida yet or no?
I
Yeah, it was summer 12 months ago.
exactly.
I've been seeing some good posts of Florida people saying it's just preheating right now.
It's preheating.
Florida.
It feels pretty hot.
Yeah.
They're marinating us right now.
Yeah, we haven't got those summer thunderstorms yet though, so waiting for that to come and start cooling us down.
No, that always happens. You want to know why it always happens? Because like the last couple of years, we've been buying different cars and shit. And like every time we get, like I remember when we got the Jeep, and it was around the same time in like April, May, and you buy it because you're like, this is the perfect time. And you buy something in May because it's been dry for the last like month or two in perfect temperature. And then every year, and like last year, we got the 4Runner where I wanted all the windows and the rear window down. And then literally as soon as we get it by like mid-May, end of May, rain every fucking day. And then you're like, shit, I missed the window. I missed the window. Because it does. It creeps up on you from like really cold to perfect weather. And then by the time you realize it, you want to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It swaps over to muggy, rainy mess.
What kind of Jeep did you guys get? I don't remember you getting any.
Yeah, we short-lived a Jeep. My wife wanted really bad, and then she went against. I had a buddy who's a Jeep guy, and he told me exactly what to do and not to do. My wife,
not to do.
She did everything that he specifically said not to do. We got ripped off, but yeah. And I remember standing in the parking lot. I was like, "Honey, are you sure?" It has no AC, no hard doors. It does not have the hard top. You know what I mean? Like everything Nick said not to buy. We literally were buying it. And are you sure? And, you know, there's some rust. Turns out the guy was a flipper. He flipped it. The bottom was rusted out. We had to weld some shit. We ended up selling it. We took a $6,000 loss, and we sold it to a dude who like welds and does metal work and fixes Jeeps. So yeah, that was an experience. So, you know.
Jeeps.
You could do
love
a lot
them and
of
hate them.
But never, it's the frame. So now that I'm buying cars, I'm always looking for rust. Everything I do has to be rust free. I don't care about the engine. I'll fix an engine, but I cannot
take a rusted frame.
Yeah, like if the frame's eaten away, that's pretty much it. Anyway, let's talk about some CRMs today. I'm sure no one wants to hear my car buying tips. They're not here for Facebook Marketplace car buying haggling.
That will be coming separately in Brandon's new podcast. So stay tuned for that.
Facebook shenanigans.
Yeah, dude. No, I want to talk a little bit about AI and CRM. So
I've been seeing some stuff out there, John. I'm hoping you're talking about not just Investor Fuse stuff, but also some other companies. It seems to be a race out there of who can literally release the most.
Yeah, definitely a race, which is interesting. Yeah, let's talk about what we're releasing first. You're probably seeing some of it in your space. I mean, you have the beta flag turned on in your space, so you might be seeing some of this. We're getting ready in 3 weeks to release a suite of AI tools. So this first one is live and currently kind of being tested. We call this one our Can I zoom here so you guys can see this better?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to open up my Investor Fuse on my other screen to see if I could try to see what you're talking about because it was really tiny.
Yeah. So this is the opportunity summaries. It's the first thing we released because it's really important for the other features that we're working on. So this basically takes every detail about the opportunity, puts it through AI, and generates 3 specific summaries and then an overall from that. So you get a property facts, recent communication, and seller intent. And so it's pretty fun and exciting to see how it's working so far. I mean, it literally takes everything. This specific opportunity has been alive for 2 years and has almost 100 touches on it. And so you can read through it, but like the property facts, property is located. I'm not going to give you the address. Can't see it. The seller states the house is in great shape. It may only need about $20,000 in repairs. Property is currently available for sale with no specific asking price provided. It is a residential property, but details about size, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, year built, or unique attributes are not specified. goes through recent communication, which in this case is just somebody trying to follow up and check in. The intent's nice. The seller's motivated to sell probably because they want to complete the sale before finishing work on the house themselves after May. Indicating a desire for quick transaction. They've set a firm minimum price of $300K and are not interested in lower offers, showing a clear financial goal. Expressed a timeline of wanting to be settled into a new place by August, which creates a sense of urgency to close the deal within a few months. So it's nice. Like all of this is being pulled from like all the fields inside the opportunity, the notes. We're looking at every inbound text, outbound text, and then starting as of Monday, we're bringing in AI summaries of phone calls provided by Dialpad and smartphone.
That comes out Monday.
That's out now. That's live for everybody.
Nice.
So you can see all
It's
of
gonna it's gonna be pretty badass. How many people are beta testing this right now?
We don't have too many because on Monday our autonomous lead manager goes into beta, and so I'm waiting for more people till then to bring into the fold. So I can talk about our autonomous lead manager if you guys want to know about that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, obviously I feel like you just teased me with what an autonomous lead manager. Can I I don't have a team. I'm not going to try to lie here, but let's hypothetically say I do. Can I fire my lead manager? I remember having a lead manager. I mean, there was moments, and listen, because you either have a fronter lead, what I used to call like a fronting lead manager, or a rear, like a back end lead manager. You're either lead man. Most people have the lead manager coming in the front end means you have a lot of dirty leads coming in, typically from SMS or cold calling. And so they're really fronting them, trying to verify before you waste the acquisitions team time. And so they're managing that. Then you have the other ones, which are on the back end, all the leads that you pretty much have worked through, following up with that have kind of sat there for a while, or maybe you deaded out or put on a long-term follow-up, and now they're realiving them in a way. That's the type of lead manager we used to have, is going through old leads and trying to revive them and moving them through what InvestorFuse has is like buckets. So is this one, but what I was going to say was I always felt like that position was valuable because we made money off of it, but I felt like it was such a boring and wasteful job because it's so monotonous. And it's like, I always thought there could be a better way, but that was long before AI was around. So what do you have here? Is this a fronting one on the back end? Like what, or just both, or does it matter? Or what do you got here?
It could be any one that you want. It can be both. It can do anything. So we kind of took what the structure of our sequences, right? And so the way that our traditional sequences are built is you kind of, you write it for whatever you want. And so it could be like the fronting, lead manager or fronting messaging that people need for like PPL, right? Like I got to touch them, whatever it is, 4 times a day, something like that. Or you've got, and then you can write a sequence for your long term. So the autonomous lead manager works very similarly. So you can make as many of these as you want, right? And so I can make an autonomous lead manager, call it whatever I want, give it a description, and it has 4 settings inside of it. And I'll kind of walk through the flow. So obviously this lead manager currently right now for the beta is only communicating via text through whatever smartphone or dial pad you have connected using the opportunity owner's phone number on that opportunity. And it has 2 checks in it. It's got like a,
What if they have a lot of phone numbers? Can you assign them? So like if Brandon has like 5 different phone numbers or something for different markets or whatnot, like, can you do that?
No, not right now. I mean, that's something we can do down the road for sure.
Okay.
Right now it's just using the opportunity owner's phone number. There's 2 checks that happen every time the autonomous lead managers is triggered. We check to make sure that the seller's not opting out, and we're messaging them breaking A2P10 DLC compliance. And then we have an intervention one as well, which is just like, hey, they're getting angry. Somebody needs to take over here. But there's 4 types
of. Whoa. What do you mean? So if they're getting angry with the AI?
Yeah.
So like, when you're on the phone and you're like, customer service, just freaking. Yeah. So if someone realizes that they're texting or whatever with AI, is that what you're saying? It'll let.
Yeah, it reads their just emotional aspect. And so, yeah, if we're getting to a level where we're detecting some significant emotion, we're going to stop messaging them and tell somebody else to take over.
Gotcha.
there's 4 parts that you have to kind of write out about each one of these. So the first one's the intent, which is what do you want them to do? So it could be answer these 4 questions, re-engage them, talk about an offer follow up, like anything that you're basically wanting this AI manager to do. And then you give it instructions on how you want it to write. You could say misspell some words, don't go any longer than 3 sentences, be casual, however you want it to write messages. That goes in the writer instructions. The follow-up instructions are, let's say the autonomous lead manager sends a message like, hey, what's the condition of the property? The follow-up instructions are used if they don't respond back to that, follow up on that same message. So very similar to the writer instructions. And then the scheduler is just how often you want them to. So you can put anything in here. You could say follow up multiple times a day. You could say follow up every day for 2 weeks and then start spreading it out across multiple days, eventually getting to once per week.
Is it like the follow-up sequence, only you're not telling it what specific message to write?
Correct. Yes. And so you can build these to be all do specific things. And so what happens is once you build these and you build as many as you want, you can go on to an opportunity and then turn it on and pick which AI manager you want to run. So I can come in and say, let me see if I can get to one here. Oh, I didn't add any. So there, right here, there would be a place to say this manager needs to run on this opportunity. And so you can change that at any point. You can choose different managers for different types of leads, and they will run. And it's completely independent. So what that means is a user can still be on this opportunity themselves using the action-based system, calling the lead, sending text messages, and the autonomous lead manager is just going to be working alongside them. And so anytime that, you know, the lead manager, like the actual acquisitions person, sends out a phone call or even gets on the phone with them and has a conversation, that then comes back into the autonomous lead manager and says, hey, do we need to change our approach based off of this communication that just happened? And we will kind of rewrite and rework things. But it will follow up indefinitely until you turn it off, basically, or the seller opts out. And it's very flexible as it stands right now. So this is going to the beta group on Monday, and we'll start testing it and seeing how it works in the wild. It's kind of hard to predict. We've tested it ourselves and it looks great, but we definitely need some real leads to test it out with and see how it works.
See how people respond to it, how customers like
Yeah.
what do you call it? The sellers respond to it.
Yep. But it's a really cool flow. Like just anytime there's an inbound communication, it triggers the opportunity summaries, which then go in and trigger the autonomous lead manager, and it will respond to people straight away.
That's pretty cool. What are the competitors doing or providing? Are they providing some different type of AI, or is this in line with what other CRMs? So like if I got Investor, obviously I have Investor Fuse, but if I got Investor Fuse and like I'm like, man, like this AI is cool, but is there something different or better, or hey, what other AI tools are being offered by other competitors? I guess we'll just say.
Yeah, there aren't a lot.
Different?
There aren't a lot of them out there, and it's kind of hard to speak to that right now because Resimpli.
So I guess you would say like Resimpli is what
all I've seen is a 10-second snapshot of what it looks like. So I have no idea like how it works, what it does, how you set it up. If you can be as specific as we can, where you can have multiple types of autonomous lead managers. I don't know how it works in that regard. I would say the general what has existed up until this point is more outbound prospecting and qualification. And so it's like they're working the lead to get to the point where you can hand it off to an acquisitions manager as a qualified lead to take over. This is different in the sense that it works alongside you. It can work in the qualification phase, it can work in the follow-up phase. It can work in the, hey, they went for retail. Let's just message them about how that retail transaction is going for, forever. So it works a little differently from those.
But are they listening to the calls and reading?
No. Yeah. And that's the thing is like.
So Resimpli is not, to your knowledge, as of today, doing that?
Resimpli does not have this feature live. That's coming out in version 5, which I don't know if they put a release date on it yet. So they have something like this. So I would assume it would have some context from the CRM, but of what exists today that you could go out and buy, nothing has this kind of context from a CRM yet. I guess actually Go High Level might have some, like has something in there.
Like
I'm
with
not,
the CloseBot integration.
yeah, I don't know exactly how well it works or what it
What
does
about
specifically.
Fuck, I always
Follow
forget the name.
boss.
No, fifth main fifth.
Left main.
Left main.
Salesforce, I
Salesforce.
assume has some kind of
They
AI
got
bot
it right.
built into like the Salesforce marketplace kind of deal. And Salesforce itself has its own AI, but I've not seen Left Main market any AI features. Have you, Carlos?
I haven't. I mean, I follow them on social, and I haven't seen. I knew Re Simply was coming out with stuff. I feel like they've been teasing it, and then they have some influencers too that tease stuff. You know, I was kind of thinking about this, like when I knew we were going to talk about CRMs, and it's like, and I get it, I don't wholesale anymore and all that, but we've talked at length of the state of the industry and how things are changing. And it's like, I definitely think CRMs themselves need to keep up or die, because like, and go with me on this for a second. It's like, okay, so John, you're keeping up with the times, right? Like obviously Carrot and Investor Fuse are keeping up with the times, but also very limited in what you guys do. You guys focus on CRMs. Okay. That's your skill set. That's your, what do you call it? Your one thing, your one focus. But in that, and all the other CRMs really excelled because we had so many wholesalers. It was like everyone needed a CRM. Wholesaling was like 20,000 people wholesaling. And I'm not saying it's going to change overnight, but as all these new rules and laws come into play, and we see, I think we all agree on this show that obviously wholesaling is going to change and the quantity of them are going to dwindle down. A lot of our guests have kind of agreed with that theory.
Okay.
So I think it's going to hurt the CRM industry. And then I was thinking, well, if that's true, who's going to get hurt the most? And I see it as like you have the two parts, the ones that only do CRMs and then the ones that don't keep up with the times. And it's like you almost have to have already been a CRM to be able to leverage the data you have, which is obviously what Investor Fuse is doing, right? Leveraging all their historical data to provide you a good AI bot, or multiple bots in this case. But, you know, but all these other ones. So Go High Level is very much just the white label platform. So if you have John Doe's or, you know, Jimmy Smith's Go High Level and he doesn't add it in, I think a lot of those ones are going to suffer and go out of business, where those wholesalers, because you have to scale as a wholesaler and really start flipping and doing all these things to provide that asset base, or be like a Nick Perry, Josh and Tiffany High, like the big wholesalers in this space. But if you're at that size, you're also going to want one with AI. Obviously, you want to make your life easier, and you're going to want one most likely that either integrates with a lot of other tools or has those other tools built in, like a Salesforce. Because if you're making that money, the money is irrelevant to you at that point. You saving, you know, $5,000 a year or 30 grand a year on a software is irrelevant if you're making $5-7 million in top line revenue. So it's like, I feel like a lot of these CRMs, like, do you see where I'm going with this? Like, where CRMs are going to suffer if they're not.
Yeah, no, I think it's based off the avatar that they can tailor towards, right? Like we have been around long enough, we can tailor towards every avatar. Like I'm fresh to wholesaling, I'm experienced, I'm a pro with a team,
But
right?
that's what I'm saying. Will there be more I'm fresh to wholesaling?
No, then that's my point. Like I think a lot of the CRMs that really do focus on the I'm fresh to wholesaling, and like that's my draw, is I provide, you know, the benefits that one specific avatar is looking for are going to suffer, because we're going to see the people that like are in the experience to like total pros really looking at what solution is helping their team, how are
what's
they
the best money
best
irrelevant
is how we talk about it. Best in class.
Because Carlos always talks about, like, I don't know, on the show or just on our side shows, like when we talk, but our pre-shows, I mean, but like people coming into the industry from other industries, but they have money. And if you have money coming in, you're not saying, oh, I want this fucking dude's Podio setup or Go High
Mhm.
Level setup, you're like, okay, like I want the best, right? Like,
Yeah.
how much is it going to cost? I'm used to doing this in my other business or industry I'm leaving. So what is it going to cost? But in real estate, I've always said it from the beginning, like real estate agents or real estate investors in general are very cheap.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a real business. Like you don't start out like a legit business. So you don't want to spend any money. You expect it all to be profit. But these guys are coming from solar, they're coming from other industries, and they're like, okay, just set me up with the go-to systems and let me hire the good sales team, let me be a good team. And I think they're just going to be looking for, like you said, best in class, and money will be irrelevant. But when you go after the fresh or the 5 deals a month, they're all worrying about how much you cost because, if they're not performing one month, they probably already spent the money from the last couple months.
And that's why I really see like, sorry, you go ahead, Carlos.
Oh, I was just going to say BP would appreciate this with a kid in college now. But there's even the low experience, not in anything. I had a call today with a dude that's at Florida State, just closed his first deal for $5,500, is waiting tables and still has, their parents helping pay for groceries and stuff like that. And it's like trying to figure out a wholesaling business. So wants the stuff that is specific, but is like, dude, I have a budget. Like I got to make sure I have runway for 3 months. But it was funny and interesting seeing a teenage kid in college still at Florida State starting a wholesaling business.
Yeah, I feel a certain way about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, I feel like it, and that's the problem I see there is it's like I think it's good that obviously they're making money. Making money is a phenomenal, I mean, like if you go make some money, but I also think it's the gimmick. You know what I mean? Like and I think the gimmick is over. He may have made 5,500, but I mean, bro, listen, like if this kid was listening, I'd be like, you may have made 5,500, but it's going to cost you 3 times as much to keep scaling. So you could take your 5,500 and go party, or you're competing against people who do this all day, every day.
Right.
It is easy to get one deal. It is easy to grab 2 or 3 deals a year. And if that's all you're looking for, but you are going to be put out of the market. So either the days of doing this from your mom's basement as a part-time thing while you're doing other shit is long gone. The cheap marketing is dead. The laws have changed. There is no, back in the day that happened and it was sold as such because all the gurus now are always saying, I used to use bandit signs and I did all this for 0 money because you could RVM for a penny. You could SMS for 3 pennies. You could put up bandit signs without the city getting all over. You could do all these things. But now you can't. So now you need PPL and PPC, and you need even the cold calling. If you hire a good team, like our friend of the show, Scott Morris at Lamasu Leads, right? Like he's not just taking anybody. To get with him, and he's top quality. To get with him, you have to have legit sales skills and team because his reputation relies on it. So that's what I'm saying is, yeah, Carlos, I think that's pretty cool. I respect that. But like, I also think the gimmicks are over of like, hey, I'm going to do this from college dorm room and try to scale it. I think that's going to be harder.
I think those people will still exist, but they're going to be way less in quantity than they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be harder. I guess all I'm saying is it's going to be harder to scale that. Whereas before you could roll 5,500 easily back in the day. Roll $5,500, you turn it all into marketing dollars, churn. Deals are harder to come by. They're harder to sell. Softwares are more expensive. Marketing is more expensive, but it is easy to get 1 or 2 deals here and there. I just hate to see people ruin their entire lives. There is nothing wrong with going to college and getting a good paying job. There's nothing wrong with being a lawyer or a doctor or a plumber or whatever the hell you want to be. Everyone's trying to pitch real estate ain't fucking easy. Like that's the first thing I would tell any college kids. You think this is easy? $5,500 is only the beginning. You haven't paid taxes on that. You don't have a CPA to pay that. You haven't opened your LLCs. You haven't paid franchise tax, whatever the fuck it is, right? Like you haven't even begun. It's not easy. And I think with all of our guests, they all say the same thing as they get like later on is they wish more people understood that this is not.
Yeah, and I think like that's something that we look at too. It's like we see those signs happening as a CRM, and so it's like how do we still provide a solution for the people coming in, the smaller teams, whatever it might be, but like we know there's going to be what's the term I'm looking for? Like a consolate. No, it's gonna get smaller. The pool's gonna get smaller, and so how do
Consolidation.
we? Yeah, consolidation. Thank you. So how do we grow for those people that are going to just get bigger, need bigger things, and we'll be able to be charged more money for them, and kind of maintain our revenues and profit margins as a business with that smaller pool size, right?
Yeah.
And then if that's not what we want to do, how do we go to different markets? So we look at both strategies and say, okay, we need to go, everybody needs a CRM out there that's doing inbound and outbound marketing.
We need to provide a CRM to OnlyFans models. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing.
That might be going away with Google's AI.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Google's announcement. There's been a ton of like AI
Or
announcements.
humanoid robots.
There are always going there are always going to be people who excel even in the harshest environments and the toughest markets. You are always going to have people and I think you can, as a part-time person scaling into full-time, I think it's possible if you network, if you make all the right moves.
Yeah.
You network and you JV and you're a great networker. Maybe you're married and you have a wife who has a job and you don't need the money that you make to support yourself, so you could roll it all in. But if you don't have a job, like a full-time making six-figure job to support your lifestyle, you're going to be eating away at your profits. And if you're working part-time at McDonald's, guarantee you're going to be eating away at your profits to keep up your stuff, right? But like those who live with their parents, maybe if you're the right type of person, could you roll it 100% in and get there? There's always going to be your one or two people who do that. But it's not like it was, I think 4 or 5 years ago, there was probably like an 80%, I'm making this up, but like 80% odds you would succeed if you started in your mom's basement.
You're starting to sound like an old man. I remember when.
I know. That's because I've been doing it so long, bro. I've been doing it so effing long. I've been in real estate since 2010. This is 15 years in. It's hard not to say. I was talking to people the other day at my son's swim meet, and I was like, well, I think you're wrong. I was like, back in my day when I was a real estate agent, houses were this price. And people were like, no, they weren't. Like, pretty fucking sure they were, bro. Like, pretty fucking sure.
Oh, my God.
I think BP is, I agree with that strongly. Like the people that just kind of did this part-time and just sent out a little bit of marketing, I think they could still survive, but if they're super lean on marketing costs and maybe they only need to do a couple deals a year, but yeah, like this.
Why?
This guy that is in college, classes during the day, waiter 3 to 5 nights a week, and is trying to put together wholesaling is challenging.
Yeah, good luck. He's up against dudes who do this 24/7, literal fucking lions in this industry, and who are gonna eat him for lunch if he's got a lot going on, and that's the problem. Is like, is you get put into this, but it's like, dude, it's not. For what reason do you want this? So like, I always like Hormozy years ago when he really came out, really started me thinking when I made my change to mobile home parks. What's your end? Why? Do you want to be fucking cold calling people for life? Do you see yourself wholesaling when you're 50 years old?
Yeah.
If not, what do you see yourself as? Because just go and fucking do that. Do you want to be putting bandit signs? Do you see yourself being this king of wholesaling and the toughness and the laws? Do you want to battle every state law that's out there? Do you want to fucking deal with trying to steal? Because that's what we're doing. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Stealing people's houses from them at liquidated prices. And it exists in every industry, okay? It exists. I'm buying a car. I see the wholesalers in the car industry buying. I literally see them buying off Facebook and then when you're on Facebook, as long as I've been, they're literally buying them at like $6,000, and then you see it listed again with some fresh underbody paint covering the rust at like 11 fucking grand. They took it from somebody and they're flipping it. It exists everywhere. Is that what you want to do when you're 40? So why are you doing that? Or do you plan on scaling into rentals? Do you plan on scaling into flipping? Do you plan on scaling into development? What's that plan? Or do you want to hop into another industry? You know, I don't know, but I feel like if you're in college and you're going to do this, you need to be thinking about like, what am I giving up? Like, do I hope to get rich and not have to get a job after college, then why are you in college?
That's a good point. What is this kid
Like,
studying?
what the fuck? If that's the reason, if you're really like plan B, you shouldn't ever have a plan B. I never had a plan B. When I quit my job and moved to Florida, there was no plan B. There
Just
was
plan
no
A.
backup. There was only, like, I always realized, like, I've never had a job since the day I quit my job.
Yeah.
There is no plan B. So, like, why are you in college then? But, like, if you're going to be in college, then fucking be in college, bro. But I listened to this podcast with Derek Vickers, and John, you'd appreciate this. It was a young kid in high school. He started a software company, and I forget what it was. It was for some software, like it was like a patch or something anyway. And he had to take money through PayPal, and he was processing so much that like PayPal ended up like canceling their merchant account or something because they were all underage. But he made a boatload of money. He then rolled that money into Bitcoin. Obviously, did very well on that. It was pure. He even admitted it was like pure just timing. Everything worked for him. So then in college, he, started some other side businesses and stuff, and then found real estate. He ended up buying one property and then kind of like rolled into that, and then went to college, but now he's like full-time doing wildly, owns a shit ton of real estate at this point. But
how old is this kid now at this point?
I think he's like 23, 20. Sounded like, I don't think he actually said on the show 23, 24, because he had graduated. So, and he's now doing like multifamily rental stuff like that. And he's raising capital now. But like this kid went through this tranches, but like he had these many businesses. And so like you see that entrepreneurial ship, but it was never like, oh, I'm just going to hop in because I hear this is how you get rich, right? It was like he started at a young age and he just kept growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The next step was always different than the first step that he took.
Because he was, so what is that, right? Like, or do you just think wholesaling because you saw, you know how many people DM me? Hey man, like thinking about wholesaling. What do you think, bro? Like, yeah, that's what I used to do. I know, that's why I'm asking. I'm like, bro, you're about like fucking 5 years too late. Like,
it's funny how streamlined it is that where like Hormozy even has a post a couple weeks ago where it was like outside of a grave and it was dropping a rose and it was like failed. Let me try to find it for context. I'll send it to you really quick. But it was like failed business. It was like e-com, drop shipping, Amazon, wholesaling. It was like one of the 4 or 5 things. So it's crazy. That's like, it's as mainstream as it gets now, which is back in our day, bring age to us. It was not that.
But you could tell this kid, this man, obviously he's a man now, but like the kid, it wasn't just entrepreneurship, wasn't just something he did for money. Like even the story, and I forget how it happened, him and his friend, it was just kind of like they were good at what they were doing. It rolled into a business. Things got hard with PayPal. They rolled their profit into something else, rolled that into something else. And it's like that kid wasn't doing it just to do it. It was his thing. Entrepreneurship was his plan the whole time. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's like, what's your plan, bro? Like, don't be in school then. Like, but I can tell you,
shooting a post through the Slack channel.
I would, if I could go back in time, I am not certain I would do this again.
Don't you think though that what you have done has built your like ability to do other things?
Oh yeah. I feel like I could run this fucking country. Like, I feel like one of the things I love about Trump is resiliency. I don't think people understand the amount of stress and resiliency like you have to be able to handle or have in order to be an entrepreneur. Like, and I think Elon Musk said it the most. He's like, every major problem is yours to deal with because all your employees, they all solve problems. So if it gets to you, it is the worst shit imaginable that nobody else can fucking solve. And like, if somebody told you that from the beginning and that you're going to be working 150 hours a fucking week, and you should just say, yeah, I don't know if I'd be doing it again, John.
That's wild.
That's a fine post.
Yeah. Day trading. I feel like every one of those, Rafael Vargas.
I knew you were going to say that.
I have no problem with the guy. I mean, taught me how to run a wholesaling business, and I made plenty of money. But I just, when you follow people and you see that they hop from industry to industry, it's either that or I don't know if Ryan Pineda ever did day trading, but he was definitely pitching crypto, wholesaling, drop shipping. Then he failed. NFT should be on there too. Yeah.
Yep.
The where BP was joking about like the OnlyFans CRM management. Did you guys see the clip of Gary V on the Iced Coffee Hour? It's the two younger guys podcast.
No.
He said he told them your grandkids 100% will marry like an AI bot instead of a real person. Let me find it real quick. We can.
Yeah, I get you. Don't need to find it. I get it. I mean, there's enough of them. I was watching a clip this morning about a movie about a robot wife, and it's like that'd be cool, but at the same point, like I don't know. We're not there yet, but like, because John, you're into tech like I am, so you've seen her. You've seen all these different movies. So like, if you have the emotional capacity of like her, but she was on like a audio device, so physical. But then if you got like Battlestar Galactica style bots, like I mean, I could see how people could fall in love with that. But I mean, how 100 years? I don't know. Like I was watching.
I don't think it's gonna take that long.
I was watching some of Tesla bots, and I was like, those motherfuckers are dancing and moving and doing shit, and they have like sex bots now. When is it that the intelligence and the sex aspect combine together, and then you're gonna have these boys who don't want to? I mean, there goes our species.
Yep. It's a lot of weird science fiction films can very easily become true, and we see that. And I mean, that's the beauty of science fiction too, though. It's a warning sign of.
But you gotta ask yourself, like, whether you believe in God or not. It's like God's plan, bro. Maybe he just didn't want you to procreate, so he has you fucking a robot instead of a real person. Like, thank you for saving us, because that decision. Thank you for saving us those fucking genetics in the world.
Maybe that will save the world from overpopulation.
It could. Maybe Bill Gates won't have to give us all another virus to kill people. So I can't wait for that guy to fucking bite the fucking dust. That dude just. If half the shit they say about him is real, like if he's legitimately doing half of the shit they say, it's like, what the fuck, dude? Just go enjoy your money somewhere and leave us all the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
The more money people get, the more they just want to fucking butt into everything. It's like, just shut the fuck up and enjoy your money.
I could.
The self-driving Teslas.
John's still butthurt about Donald Trump. He's like, shit, Kamala. Did you hear about your boy Joe?
He's got cancer.
Well, he's had it, okay?
No, they just found out.
I'm glad they're like, we just found out. It's so progressive. We had no idea, everybody. Like, oh my God, we did not know a year ago. It just popped up on the best doctors in the world. We're like, bro, like, we did not know the president of the United States had this. We only found it after he was the president. Like, I think every American and conspiracy theorist is like, it's like, what is that black guy who made his money with just not saying anything, and he's got that face, and he would just make the meme.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. And I could just see his face, like,
yeah,
that dude made a shit ton of money too, doing nothing.
Yeah, I did.
But I think, anyway, the state of our world right now, and going back to it, AI is changing a lot of things. So
okay, let's get back to AI. I think it's interesting. I think there'll be two diverging paths with AI inside of, like, let's just talk about real estate investing, like CRMs. I think there'll be the AI that's being built to completely replace people, and then there's the AI that's being built to enhance and save time and specialize people.
I don't know, man. I read this thing from a college student who said he feels his brain is slower. I think I sent it to you. He thinks his brain is slower because he's used AI to help him write and research all of his stuff. So when somebody asks him a question, he's like, I feel like there's a fog. I am not used to doing this. I rely so much on AI to write things for me that I can't do this now. And it's like,
yeah, I was reading some of that. We did talk about like AI in education, and I continued doing some research in it afterwards, and I found other like similar studies there. Like maybe it was the same one, but like there was a guy who used AI, and then classmates that didn't, and they were talking about their experiences and like how they feel prepared for things and stuff like that. So yeah,
AI is a great tool.
Mhm.
Like how I'm using it with my truck right now, I'm literally learning to become a mechanic. Like I'm using it to it's almost as if, like I was telling my wife, like I have a mentor. It's like if I had a mechanic.
Oh, have you seen the Google one about with the guy in the bike shop?
I was just gonna bring that up. Oh, I was gonna say the truck. I think it's a truck. He's a basketball hoop. The new Google phone commercial. Is that what you're talking
I
about?
saw one where the guy's in a bike shop and he's using their new AI to help with that. And he's like, help me find the right screw that's going to go into this.
Yeah.
Like, I need a part. Like, can you call and ask somebody if they have a part? The AI goes and does that. Like, what part of the bike is this? Like, what do I need to?
Yes,
like,
that's what I do.
Yeah,
so like, but I have to. So I don't know if you're talking about like where Glasses, Google Glasses AI.
No, this is all in the new like AI assistant on Google
So
phone.
I'll be out of my truck in like, because I'm learning the new diesel engine, right? So I'll be like, "What's this?" And it tells me. I'm like, "Okay, why do I see this and this grease build up? Okay, you probably have a leak on this seal. What do I need to replace this? And if that's wrong, wouldn't it make sense that we should do that?" And it's like, "Yeah, you're spot on. You would do this." And I'm like, "Hey, I have this problem, but like I'm also thinking," and so I can ask it these questions, stupid questions that typically, if I was working in a mechanic shop, I would ask who's ever training me and be like,
Correct.
"Hey, like, how do I put in this valve, or how do I put in these glow plugs? And if I do that, is there another part I should upgrade while I have this open?" And then I'll be like, "What part number? What tool do I need?" And it just helps me. And because ChatGPT, I've created a folder. We put in, I gave it all the specs of my truck. It memorizes all of my specs of my truck, and then it memorizes what we've agreed to do. And so it's like now it's making suggestions. But I think it's cool that I can upload photos, and I'm like, take a look at this and tell me if I should replace this. And it'll be like, "No, honestly, I don't think you should," or tell me who to call. And then I've called different companies to talk to them about parts. That is what you're talking about, assisting me.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm relying on it. I feel like it's saving me from having to go get a job at a mechanic shop to have a mentor. I just have an AI mentor, but I'm doing all the work, if that makes sense. I'm still the one thinking.
Yeah, we got to pull up the Google phone commercial maybe next episode, John. But the new one, Google's doing a big marketing push right now. The one I saw is really good. It's like a father. Part of the commercial is a father and son putting together like a basketball hoop in the yard. And it's like, go back to step 2. And it's like, I got to go back all the way there. It's very funny. But it's exactly what BP is doing. It's like he just puts the phone up to like the hoop and where they're at. And it's like, all right, this is what you need to do next.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The one I saw about the bike shop, it was like, pull up the instruction manual for this bike, scroll to the page that talks about this area, and the AI just like scrolls.
But it still makes mistakes though. I've caught it a few times because I'll be like, wait a second, like that's not like, thank God I didn't buy it. I'd be like, that's not the part number for this part. I'd be like, "Oh, good catch, Mr. Operator.
I love it.
You are correct." Yeah.
Like, "Oh yeah, great job." Thank you.
What you, dude? Like, what if I didn't catch that? You know what I mean? Like, this website says that's not a fit for my truck. "Oh, you are great for catching that. You are 100% correct. Let's run through what you actually like." I don't need you to run through. We've already run through this. Just like, so you do have to double check the stuff. Yeah. So like, but it has led me to different websites. It's helped me find manuals. So I guess what it's done is what I don't like doing now, what we used to all do, is
spend hours researching
on forums,
going through it. Yeah.
And I don't want to go on forums anymore and read. So I'm just like, go to the forums and, find what's the best, spring kit or leaf springs for my truck. What does everybody love and why do they love it? And we settled on Deaver Springs. So then I called Deaver and talked to them. And it saved me, you know what I mean, so much time.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of that, really quick, as a quick thing on Reddit, Joe Rogan posted a video of a friend of mine. He's friends with the remote Latino guys, lives with one of the remote Latino guys in Medellin. But Joe Rogan posted a video of this guy, Icon, that I know in Medellin, talking about how AI companies are doing Reddit, and it's like persuading people more than actual human conversation. Like, if you want to intentionally persuade people, it's the last post on Joe Rogan's Instagram. But it's like, say
they're
BP
posting
had
on Reddit.
They're posting on Reddit. Companies are using AI to post on Reddit, and it's more persuasive than humans actually going in there.
That's great. That's awesome. They're like,
we're in an interesting time.
that's going to skew my data then.
It is going to skew your data. Talking about AI in like our daily lives, did you guys hear that OpenAI is buying Johnny Ives' company? You guys know who Johnny Ives
I
is?
saw that, but I didn't know. I saw that was going down, but I didn't know what that was.
Johnny Ives is Steve Jobs' hardware designer. So he designed all the like original Apple phones and Macs and stuff like that. So Johnny Ives for the last like I think 4 years has built this like super secret AI hardware company and has been working very closely with Sam Altman on like how is the right way, like not a phone replacement, but how do you bring AI the right way into your like daily lives? And there was an interview with the two of them, and Sam's like, I got to take it home for the first day, and this is gonna like absolutely change your opinion on like how AI should be used in your daily life. It'd be very interesting.
Worries me. Worries me. He does. There's just I don't know. I've been watching like interviews with him with the press, and something about this guy just gives me Terminator vibes. I don't know. But John, I was gonna say when you were talking about Apple, you know how I always harp on things revert back to the mean. I was going to send it to you guys and I forgot, but they have now taken, a fucking iPod Nano. Somebody has 3D printed a case with a spin wheel, like a dial wheel on the front, and basically turned a fucking iPod, or not an iPod, what do you call it? Not a Nano. What's this thing
Apple
called?
Watch.
The Apple Watch, the face of the Apple Watch, I'm sorry. Put it inside of a regular case with the little spin wheel and turn it into the old school fucking iPods that we used to have.
Really? That's hilarious.
And I'm watching this and they're selling them now and everyone's freaking out about it. And it's like, we literally had this and we all loved it. We had one spot to store our music. We carried it in our pocket. We fucking loved it. We'd bring it everywhere. We had the little armband.
Yeah.
We never wanted it in our phone, okay? I was so happy with that. I still have one. I spent $200 and some bucks a few years ago buying another one.
Really? You got another one?
I have it over on my file cabinet. Yeah, and I fucking...
Does it still work?
I'm still an iPod guy. I have my own.
I don't use it, but I really should. Now that I got my fucking truck. But listen, I also think there's two camps. And I think there's people who will adopt AI. And I think in business you should.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Not even should have is the term you need to be using.
I definitely think you should have it, but like I think to an extent, like I was calling to get my window replaced, and it was really aggravating that everything has now gone to call centers and robot picking up the phone. I literally called, I think I hung up on like 6 or 7 different companies until I found one that was legitimately local, not lying to me SEO, the lying SEO local shit where I wind up in fucking India and they're taking like all, I swear to God, I felt like I was talking to a wholesaler. Like, okay, and why are you doing this? And what's your name? Where are you located? And what kind of truck? And what is this? I'm like, bro, like, I just wanted like how much to get my windshield replaced. And then I hung up on her and then I started getting sales calls from different companies. I was like, fuck my life. And so I finally got a hold of a guy.
Is this for truck parts still?
This is just for a windshield, yeah.
Okay.
And so then I was like, I finally got a hold of a real guy in Lakeland. I was like, thank God. But I was like, man, like, it really goes to show if I'm frustrated, like how many people would just want a real business owner to talk to and not be shuffled through and actually, especially localized businesses. And I think that's the same in our personal lives. Like there's a place for it, but like, I don't know if I'm getting a robot butler. Okay. Like I cleaning my house, like
I would love a robot that cleaned my house. I don't know if I'd bring a robot into my house, but it sounds amazing.
I want my kids to do it. I don't
but by the time I can get
my
butler, my kids aren't going to be living here anymore.
Well, I don't give a shit because when my daughter comes over, even though she's in college, she still fucking has chores. Pretty sure she avoids coming over as much as possible because I made her wash the cars yesterday or 2 days ago, and she was complaining. She's 19. She's still complaining. Like, I didn't make these. She's like, I don't understand why I'm cleaning them. I didn't make these messes, so why should I clean them? I go, that's funny. I remember cleaning your dirty diapers, and I don't remember shitting in your pants, but I still had to do it. I was like,
that's a good comeback for that.
She goes, I didn't choose to be born. I go, yeah, you did. You fucking won the race. That was your choice. You did the race. Okay? And you're here. And now you're doing this. So go get your fucking cars.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
So yeah, John, when they come home, still chores.
I'm not.
For
I'm
dinner,
for
doing
that.
the dishes.
Yeah, I am for that.
But no, I guess what I was getting at is with my own truck, I've talked to a lot of guys who have switched to old vehicles, and like a lot of people are the same thing. They're tired of all the electronics in their personal lives. They're tired of like all this high tech stuff. They just want simplicity. And so I think there's going to be two camps to things. I think there's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be ones that adopt Neuralink and AI and robots in their home, and then there's going to be the ones that just like they want a simpler, less stressful way of life. Because no matter what I found with vehicles is going to stand true with robots. Eventually, they need to be fixed. Things break down. It causes stress. It causes hassle. It costs money. You're working to pay for these things. You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, hey, so let's wrap it up. Getting back to AI and CRM land, right? So, if you are a Carrot CRM or InvestorFuse customer and you want to beta test some AI features, shoot me an email, john@carrot.com.
Shoot me an email at brennan.pedersen@gmail.com, and I will get you connected with John.
But yeah, we're beta testing them, and there'll be a launch in June. So we talked about the opportunity summaries. There's also another feature in there that checks your outbound messages for A2P 10 DLC compliance.
Yeah,
Talked about the autonomous lead manager, which I'm very excited about, and like what I showed you, I feel like is very encompassing, very flexible, and very capable of being a workhorse inside your CRM. But that's just the beginning for the autonomous lead manager. I think there's a lot of other things that it can do as it grows and we kind of prove out the technology in its agentic kind of workflow. The other things that we've got is an AI lead score. So very similar. You'll be able to kind of like build your own lead score. Like I want a lead score where 25% of it is like motivation, property.
Yeah,
Another 25%. Another 25% is like seller responsiveness. You kind of get to decide what that is for you. And then the final piece is a AI property analysis. So like if you've ever used an O3 reasoning model, imagine that doing your comping and property analysis based off of like real property data. So very excited about all that. It's gonna be a lot of fun and just the beginning of the journey. And like I said, the balance that we're really trying to stake is, yeah, there are places I think that AI can take over. Let's call it a role in your organization. And that's like the long-term follow-up to like initial qualification. But on the other side of things, like the actual deal process, we really want to provide a way to like refine your process, guide your process, enhance your process, and give you tools and data to make better decisions faster inside the CRM.
Love it.
Here's your sales pitch.
dig it. I mean, I think what you guys are doing is good. I think it's going to help people. I do fear for the state of the industry, but either way, whether people get into flipping or wholetailing, they still need to track. They still need to track their leads.
Heck yeah.
Especially if you want to compete.
Exactly. All right, gents. Well, have a wonderful Labor Day weekend.
Let's lock and load. Lock and load it.
See you all next week.
See you on the flip side.
Yep.